So wedding season is right around the corner, and if you're around my age, you probably have a few or at least one wedding to attend. So I wanted to show you this look that you can wear as a wedding guest. It'll go with anything you choose to wear. It's just a very pretty wedding vibe kind of makeup look. It's not too much. I'm gonna be using this Juicy Tartlet palette. It has a lot of like pinks and floral kind of colors. But the good news is if you don't have this palette, you can just use any neutral browns that you have and maybe one of your blushes or maybe two, and you'll easily be able to recreate this look. And welcome to my channel if you're new. My name's Karina and I do simple, wearable, classy makeup looks for different outfits, occasions. So if you like that kind of makeup, definitely check out my channel. I had a small break last week. I just felt like I needed to just kind of take a step back and revive, rejuvenate, but I'm back and I honestly missed filming. So I'm really excited to do this tutorial for you. Let's get right into it. Usually as a wedding guest, you're there for a long period of time. So I've been trying this Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I've only used it a couple times. So far I really like it and I think it really does actually make your makeup last a little bit longer. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of that. And I just kind of mostly put it in the center of my face and work my way out. For my skin, I want to keep it nice and light and airy, but still glowy. So I'm going to be using my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which is my favorite foundation. I'm going to mix it with a pump of the By Terry CC serum. This product is really nice. It's really subtle, but it adds hydration, adds glow, and it smells like roses. So it's just kind of a beautiful experience too. Once I've kind of tapped that on my skin, then I'll just take my blending sponge. This is an actual beauty blender, but you can use any blending sponge you have. Just make sure it's damp, and then I'll just kind of blend out my product and really work it into the skin. Now I say this a lot in my videos, but when you're just starting with your first step, which is usually foundation, you don't need to cake on product. So I'm by no means covered at all. You can still see my blemishes. I have some pretty bad breakouts right now, but that's okay because I just wanted to even out my skin tone, bring some life into it, and make it look kind of glowy. And then the rest of the work is done by your concealer. The less product you pile on at first, the better that the actual end result is gonna turn out if you're going for that natural kind of glowy look. If you put too much on right away, it's just gonna keep getting heavier and heavier as you add all of the rest of your products. So I'm just gonna leave it there. And then I'm gonna use my Born This Way concealer. This is just like a really nice, hydrating, light concealer, but it still has lots of coverage to it. So I'm just gonna start by concealing those breakouts. Then we can move on to concealing our under eyes. I think I will put a little bit more product on today just because my skin isn't quite as covered and I just want this to last a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I wanna brighten my under eye up a little bit, so I'm adding just a little bit of a lighter shade and I'm just gonna kind of mix that in there. And then I just blend that out with my finger and then we'll perfect everything with the sponge. Now I want to do a little bit of contouring around my cheeks and the edge of my face. So I'm going to use a cream contour. This one is by Fenty Beauty in the shade Macchiato. And then I just have this small kind of sculpting brush. I think this is actually a contour brush by Real Techniques. Load it up a little bit. And then starting around the top of my ear, I'll kind of just do a little contour line. And then I kind of just blend that up. And then I'll go around the perimeter of my face as well. So just right up onto the forehead and jawline. To set my under eyes and nose, I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Fusion powder, just because I don't want any shine in that area. So I just do right around the center of my face. But to keep that shine going, I'm gonna use my Jaclyn Hill Luminous Powder. This is in the shade Brighten Up. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that on my Duo Fiber. And then I'll sweep that over my cheeks and the rest of my face. Now just for longevity, I'm gonna take my Butter Bronzer and a big fluffy brush and just kind of go over the areas that we contoured or bronzed, just to kind of get that color to pop out again and make it last a little bit longer. I always bring that down my neck. For eyebrows, I'm gonna use my spiking glue and just run that into my brow and brush them up. While I'm waiting for those to dry, I'm gonna just fill in my beauty mark. By filling in little beauty marks or freckles, it's just gonna make your skin look even more natural and real, just because then they won't be covered completely with foundation. And now that my brow hairs are dry, I'm just gonna go in with this brow pin by Benefit. It's their brow microfilling pen. It's just like a felt, has 3 little prongs on it. And I'm just gonna fill in little blank spots on my brows. Now I like to do lips, like lipstick and blush last, so I'm gonna do the eyes first and then we'll kind of add after and see how much we want. The eyes, I want it to be like just a very easy kind of flush, romantic, wedding kind of makeup. This will go with any dress that you choose to wear. So I'm gonna start by taking the color Happiness and essentially kind of work that right into the crease and up and kind of all over. This is just gonna be our base color. With the base color, I always like to kind of map out the shape I want. So just kind of making sure that it stays in that upward direction. Then I'm gonna take the color Charmed and work that right into the outer corner of my eye. Then with a really slightly smaller brush, this is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH40. I'm gonna use the color Euphoric, which is the darkest shade in the palette. Add a little bit of deepness just to the outer corner. As soon as I have that color placed down and blended out fairly well, then I'll go back in with the other brush that we used with the second darkest shade and just kind of go back in and blend out the edges. The deep shades are harder to work with, so you really have to make sure that you've got time and that you're blending everything out. Now I'm going to lightly dip into the shade Petal and I'm going to put that right onto my lid. And just to make the look like a little bit more feminine and a little bit more pink, I'm going to use the color Rose on a fluffy brush. Tap off the excess, don't pick too much of this up, throw that right into my crease, just kind of warm everything up. For the bottom lash line, I'm going to sweep Petal from inner corner to outer corner. I'll add a little bit of Inspiring and bring that a little bit lower down. And then I'm going to go in with the color Grounded, which is the second darkest brown shade in the palette, and just put that right onto the very outer corner. I'll use the shade Reflect because I do want a little bit of an inner corner highlight. Lastly, I'm just going to tightline my entire eye with Cos de Riche by MAC. That just really helps to further define and it'll just kind of make your eye color pop out. So I will curl my lashes, put some mascara on, and I'll be right back. So those are my eyes finished. Make sure you use a waterproof mascara because I'm sure you'll shed a few tears, especially if you're really close to the bride and groom. So we just have to finish up with cheeks and lips. For the cheeks, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've sort of been over that like placement of highlight where you just put it right on your cheekbones, right down the bridge of your nose, right on your cupid's bow, right on your chin. What I really like though is kind of mixing your blush and highlight, so just having like an overall glowy cheek. I just think it's really pretty. You don't have any stripiness going on. So I'm going to be using this cream blush by Rare Beauty. This is in the shade Nearly Apricot, and kind of mixing in my Hollywood Flawless filter. So what I'll do is just pop a little bit of my filter or flawless filter on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to take this short duo fiber by MAC. This is the 130, and I'll just kind of press that right into my product and work that right into my cheek, just starting on the apples and kind of working my way back. And then once I start to see a little bit of color, I'm going to dip my brush into that filter, the flawless filter, and kind of work that right into the blush as well. Now I find with this highlighter, as you put it on, it'll kind of take away from the color that you've just laid down. So we're just gonna do a little bit of layering. So get a little bit of that dew going on your cheek and then go back in with the blush and then pop that on top again. And then we should be left with this beautiful kind of overall glowy cheek. And I think that worked out really well. This is the first time I really tried that, but I think it's really pretty. Whatever's on my brush, I'll just kind of run that on my nose and on my chin just to bring a little bit more color into my face. For your lips, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can do like a bold lip because it's neutral enough that you can still get away with like a bolder lip. If you want to do a nude lip though, that'll also work because your eyes still have enough color going on that you won't be too washed out. Our eye look is kind of like in between a bold look and a neutral look. So really the lipstick choice is up to you. For me, I'm gonna do the color Twig. It's just like a classic kind of berry color by MAC. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit onto my lip. Yeah, it's just a really pretty kind of pinky purpley shade. And then I just wanna clean up the edges. I'll align with the color Ever by NYX. I'm not sure if this product still exists. I'll link it down below if it does, but your lip liner doesn't have to match your lipstick exactly. So just choose a liner that you have that you think will match your lipstick. So that's it for my wedding guest makeup tutorial. Let me know what you think. I think no matter what kind of eye look you wanna do, by just adding a little bit of pink or some blush tones into your look Really gives it that romantic feel, which is perfect for weddings. Comment below and let me know how many weddings you have to attend this summer. There's been so many that have been pushed up from last year, so I guess depending on where you live, you could be going to quite a few or you could be going to none. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you're into this style of makeup, then definitely subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.